What's going on, everyone? What's going on, YouTube world? How you doing out there on this Monday morning? Hope everybody's doing okay. The weather's horrible out here in Florida, so hopefully wherever you guys are tuning in from, it's better than out here. Listen, we're bringing you a special story today. We're gonna go over that. It's not mafia related, but as you know, this channel is based on transparency. It's based on getting the word out there. We love our military. We want justice for things that are just not right, and we speak on it. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. We got a special guest coming on, and his name is CODY Slusher. We're going to be bringing him on. He's backstage. He has a story that he wants to speak on and bring justice for his family, himself. So we'll go ahead and bring him on. We'll just give you a little brief introduction of CODY himself. His mother was involved in a horrific drunk driver accident, and his father was murdered by someone. It's an ongoing investigation, so we're not going to go too far into that. But this show today is to bring awareness to this situation and help CODY get some answers. What's up, Jim? How you doing, brother? How's your Monday?
Good. How's everybody out there? I'm doing good. Beautiful day outside. Another day above ground is great.
That's a great thing, brother. It's definitely a good Monday. We were actually supposed to do some other things today, but when somebody reaches out and asks for this and we can spread awareness and help the situation, why not? That's what it's about. We support our military, we support justice, and you know what? Sometimes you just got to do what's right. So without further ado, we're going to bring up CODY Slusher. He's backstage and we're going to take some questions. We're going to let him speak his story. So let's get this started, people. Hope you like the show. Hey, what's up, CODY? How you doing, brother?
Hey, buddy. Hey, what's going on, brother?
Can't complain. Can't complain.
Hey, CODY.
First things first, man.
Hey,
We would definitely like to say sorry for your losses. We know this is a tough time for you, and we just wanted to provide the platform for you to speak your piece. It's not about judging anyone. It's not about convicting anyone, because at the end of the day, you're innocent until proven guilty, and we all know that. But your story means a lot. You want to be heard, so we're going to go ahead and provide the platform for you to speak it. And if anybody else has some questions in the chat, we'll take them. Please, please, people, keep it respectful, keep it honest, no trolling. This is a heartfelt situation. So we're going to go ahead and start this up. So CODY, first things first, brother, the one thing I really wanted to ask you is, what are you gaining from coming on this channel and speaking your story?
What I'm gaining from this is awareness against drunk driving, as my mother was killed by a drunk driver. I don't want her life to be in vain. She had a lot of years ahead of her. She lost her life. And what I want to gain is justice for Ann McQueen.
Wow.
I want justice for my family, justice for my mom, the ones that can't speak for themselves. That's what God put me here on this earth for, is to speak for them. And I've got a voice and I want to use it.
And that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with sharing your story to the world. You're going to have people that like you and you're going to have people that hate you, but you're also going to have people that follow you for what's right. So tell us a little bit about your mom. How old was she?
Well, my mom was 55 years old. Sorry if I get a little emotional on here. I really have had a hard time with everything, but she's 55 years old when we had her last birthday. She died at 55, October 23rd. She was such a wonderful person. Like, you wouldn't believe the smiles that this woman wore every single day. Like, if you came in contact with her after she left, you was a happier person. She was one of them type of people that you would just blessed, honored to be around. You would love for her to come over and visit, and that's what she done. She always visited her family. She loved us so much, and she cared about us. And that's what this is really about for me, is because my mom cared so much about me. She cared so much about my brothers, my sisters. She cared so much about her family and friends that and she is such a sweet lady to be taken so soon. And that's why I got to speak her name, because she was so beautiful too. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 145 pound, 5'2". You know, she's 55, just the most beautiful mama you would ever see. You know, growing up in, you know, everybody would just always tell me, man, your mom, you know, she's hot and beautiful and all this. You know how little kids say words like that, but she was just a beautiful soul, man. And losing her has been a tragedy to me. But to answer your question about my mom, she was a Christian. She loved God. She loved her family. She loved her husband. She
Yeah.
was full of love. Great, 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 great person.
So tell us about her husband. What was he, a Marine?
He was a Marine Corps veteran. He served over 8 years in the Marines, and he was a proud Marine. And he loved my mom so much. They were so in love with each other.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a
he was the
shame.
type of guy, he would come running to help you, whatever you needed. He was great, one of the great men that I've met in my life that really influenced my life and touched me. And I'm very thankful for her husband. Can I tell you something?
Of
Yeah.
course.
My mother, she was in, you know, she had a history. She had a past, okay? And these men, they would beat on her and stuff. And she would call me on the phone, Cody, get over here. And I'd have to run to her rescue all the time. You know, anytime something went down with her, I was there. But in the last years of her life, you know, she had the best years of her life when she met her husband. When she was with her husband, Ross McQueen, I never had to worry about her no more. All my worries was gone. He took care of her. He loved her. I mean, I literally had zero worries because he would kill for her. He would die for her. You no questions asked. They were in love, and
Sounds like
that's
a
where this
very
story
honorable
hurts.
man.
It's
Very
sad, and
honorable
it is
Marine
sad,
Corps veteran.
especially when there's kids, grandchildren. It's sad. And what you're looking for is closure. Is that right?
I'm looking for closure. Um, it's going to be a long process, you know, especially closure with my mother. Um, it's going to be a long process, but yes, I'm looking for closure. I'm looking for peace. And I'm
Yeah.
a Christian man, and I have faith in God, and I know my peace is going to come from Him. And
Amen.
Now, is there an ongoing investigation on the homicide of the your mother? The man is in jail, right?
yes,
Okay, now there's an ongoing investigation on the murder.
you're talking about her husband, Ross.
Yeah.
I can't
So
disclose very much information.
before we jump into that part, let's jump into the accident situation with
Yeah,
mom.
I agree.
What was that situation? How did it happen? Explain to us a little bit on that so the viewers can understand what
Okay,
happened and
my grandmother, she was on hospice care. Okay, she was in her final hours, about to die. My mom and her sisters was taking shifts, taking care of my grandmother. She was a pillar for our family. She was a solid rock, a foundation for us, and we loved her dearly. And my mom was going through a hard time with losing her mom. And we just talked, and she told me, I don't know how to lose my mom. And I told her, I said, Mom, you don't have to do this by yourself. I'm going to be right there with you. I'm going to hold your hand through the funeral. I'm going to hold you up. Well, I left that day. I seen her a couple more times. But on October 23rd, 2025, last year, Brandon McCall left the American Legion Post 6 in Pocahontas, Arkansas. He was dog drunk. He was drunk, 0.217 blood alcohol content.
Wow.
Drunk.
oh,
That bar let him leave that drunk. His passenger even tried to take the keys from him, but he snatched them back and said, nobody's driving my mother effing new truck. I'm driving it. And he gets in this truck. My mom was coming home. It was her other sister's time to take care of her mother. So she finally got to come home for a night, sleep in her own bed with her husband that she loved, Marine Corps veteran Ross McQueen. And on her way home, she was about 4 miles from her house. the American Legion. It's a bar, okay? It's about 3 miles from her house. Brandon McCall got drunk. He got into the vehicle and he gunned it. He's in a big Z71 pickup truck. He puts the pedal to the floor. He's flying in the 45-mile-an-hour speed zone. And he runs off the road on this side, overcorrects it, comes all the way over onto her side, corrects it back, and then he hits my mother. And she was in a 2025 Buick Encourse, pretty small SUV. But it ripped it apart. It ripped it to pieces. It looked like a bulldozer with the bucket came, or a big tractor with the bucket came and just was smashed it down. Everything from the front to the windshield was about this big, smashed in. Tires hanging off. The radiator was all the way on the passenger side of the car. There was hundreds of beer cans from his truck scattered all over the road. He hits her car head on. My mother's greatest fear was having a wreck. She was scared of having a, and now I see why that was her fear. But he hits her so hard, it flips her vehicle upside down and back over 80 feet backwards into the ditch on their side. The driver of the vehicle number 2, which is the drunk driver, Brandon McCall's vehicle, was laid out on the steering wheel. When the medic got there, they said, Sir, do you know you just killed a lady? He raises his head up and she says, how drunk are you? And he says, I'm not near drunk enough. That's what he said. While there was a white sheet draped over my mother's vehicle with her deceased inside of that vehicle, dead. 55 years old, dead. Because somebody made a choice to drink and drive. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. He chose to get in his vehicle drunk, snatch his keys back from somebody else and get in that vehicle, and he killed my mother. Yeah. So this isn't just, oh, I was drunk and I had a wreck. No, this is you got dog drunk in selfishness. You made a choice and you killed somebody. You murdered my mother. This is a homicide case.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you. So what was he charged with?
He was charged with negligent homicide and battery 1.
They didn't charge him with DUI?
Yep, DUI, careless, reckless driving. I don't want to say charges that I'm not for sure of. I know the 2 main ones are negligent homicide and battery 1 because the passenger, he had a passenger in his vehicle.
Yeah.
The passenger actually tried, the way I understand it, tried to drive him. He wouldn't let him. So because he harmed the passenger, because he had to get airlifted, the way I understand, to the hospital, they're charging him with a battery 1. Now then, if they do their job, a negligent homicide and a battery 1 should carry a very, very stiff sentence. And this guy shouldn't see daylight for another 64 years.
Yeah.
What about the passenger in his car? Were they hurt?
He had a, I think the driver had a broke leg. The passenger, his back was really hurt really bad. He had some very serious injuries. I'm not sure exactly what his injuries were, but I know he was hurt. And I know I don't believe, and unfortunately for the passenger, you shouldn't have gotten a vehicle if the guy was so drunk you was going to take his keys. Y'all was homeboys, all buddied up and stuff in there. So I've got resentment against both of them,
Well,
I feel,
Cody,
I know both not at fault.
With all transparency, I've been involved in a situation like that. And, he shouldn't have got in the vehicle with him for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I've been in situations where you try to take keys from somebody that's drunk, a friend, or somebody not somebody you don't know, but let's just say a friend, a family member. And it just becomes problematic because you're not dealing with the person at a sober state. You're dealing with somebody that's obliterated and they don't know right from wrong. So, it's just a messed up situation overall. We're gonna get into your dad. I just want to shout out Chief Lewis 7742. Thank you for the super chat from a fellow vet of 22 years. Cody, I got your back and love you, brother. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's
Thank you.
nice.
That's what this
Thank you.
channel's about.
Very tough
It's
loss.
it's all about
This
bringing awareness for
this
sure.
should teach people a lesson. Probably when I was a kid, I'd
It,
have been stupid enough like him. I could drive myself. Look, give the keys up.
give them
Hopefully
up.
For
they
Give
sure.
somebody
learn.
the keys. You
Yeah,
know.
you're gonna get home.
So what I wanted to ask you is, I mean, I know you said it's an ongoing investigation, correct? So we're not going to just jump into it, but can you at least elaborate on your dad and his situation and how you feel like, in your opinion, both of them is somewhat combined?
I'll give you my opinion, okay? What I believe, and I won't go real deep into his because I don't want to hinder any investigations or cause any trouble with that. Because the police will do their job, I pray,
Yeah.
and figure out what happened. But so let's talk about it. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on I can't go deep into. But my mother, she was killed by the drunk driver. And when you leave an institution after being overserved, that institution, they have a responsibility to the state and to the people of the state not to serve you once you're so drunk. So that creates a wrongful death lawsuit case. So with that being said, I won't go into the lawsuit a whole lot, but there is a lawsuit against American Legion. It's been made public, so it's not nothing nobody knows about. So we got a wrongful death lawsuit against them, and I don't know. Right around the time that the lawsuit was being filed in this time frame, there was an assault on my mother's husband. And I'll tell you what happened because it's facts. Somebody knocked on his door at 11:30 one night, June 22nd, and they clocked him over the head with something. He didn't have enemies. Everybody loved him, but he was assaulted. He had to have 9 staples put into his head. He never had headaches a day in his life, and he's complaining about his headaches every single day. And then last week, we found him passed away, and I believe it's because he got hit over the head with the pipe. I feel like I've got every reason to believe that, and I honestly believe it's a retaliation against our family, not from the drunk driver's family, but the bigger picture, the bigger institution, the American Legion. You know, People want the money. They don't want to spend the money. We made a mistake. We committed the crime. We don't want to pay the money out, so we're going to send a message somehow. And that's what I believe happened to him. I believe it was a retaliation. I believe somebody from that American Legion Post 6 had a conspiracy to go and attack him at his home. He lived by himself. And he's a Marine Corps veteran, He was a bad dude, man. You wouldn't stand up toe to toe and fight this guy. I'm telling you now, he would whoop you. He would tear you up. He's the guy. If you hurt him, you'd have to sneak around in the dark like a coward and hit him where he couldn't see or defend himself. His porch light was out. He got a knock on the door at 11:30. Opens up the door, not thinking nothing. Next thing he knows, he's on his way to the hospital.
Yeah.
Did they?
Now he's
When he
passed
passed away,
I'm sorry, but I believe it's connected to the American Legion. I can't help but to believe that.
when he
Yeah.
passed away, they do an autopsy.
So that's
All
still
that
that's
stuff,
still
I
under
What
put
was the cause
together,
investigation.
of death?
and
Did
it's
they
under
say?
investigation. And I don't want to do what?
What was the cause of death on his death certificate?
Well, we don't know.
The
It's
autopsy's
a
still
we
going.
don't know yet. this is very fresh. It just happened, so that's why I can't say a lot about it because I just don't know.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
feelings. What I believe. Here's my deal, guys. I don't know exactly what killed my mother's husband. He was found dead a month after the assault, but with his headaches and after seeing the pictures of all the stitches and stuff, I believe it was because he was hit over the head. I mean, if you was hit over the head and died a month later, what would you think?
Yeah.
It's probably from that, common sense thing. But the cause of death, I don't know. We don't know. We just,
Yeah.
and we're wanting to leave this in God's hands, let him figure this all out. But at the same time, here's my request. No matter what the autopsy and the cause of death says exactly, he was assaulted and hit it in the head. And we want to find out who done this to him.
Absolutely.
He deserves that
Yeah.
justice of knowing who came into a Marine Corps veteran's house while he's at peace in his house by himself, and they knock on a veteran's door that
Yeah.
served their country, that fought for their freedom, that would lay their life down for these people, for the same person that hit him. He swore in to serve those people, and
Yeah.
that person did this to him. That's wrong, and they need to be caught. They need to be found. Again, I say I don't know the exact cause of death, but my brain tells me, okay, I believe this is retaliation from the American Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Why
sure.
wouldn't
Cody,
it be?
let me ask you a question. When they jumped him the first time, was it one, two guys, and did he know them?
No, he's at his house by himself, has no enemies, only friends. His
But
porch
did he
light was
tell
out.
you so and
They
so
got him.
did it, or it was two guys, a white guy, black guy, Chinese guy?
It's gonna be It's gonna be a male, a bigger male. But that's where we're at. Like, they hit him in the dark and blindsided him. He couldn't even
Yeah.
get a good description on him. They take off running in the woods like a coward, and they get away. The cops thermal the woods and everything. They can't see nothing, whatever, and the guy gets away.
So now the one thing I wanted to
So
ask
here's
you
where
was
I'm at.
anything. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm
My
fine.
question is, was I know this happened right at his door, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What was there anything taken from the house that maybe it could have been a robbery, or was it just
Nothing was stolen. Everything's out in the open. Nobody took anything. They hit
Yeah.
him and ran off.
yeah? So it was
They wasn't
It
targeted
there
was
for
for
a
sure.
money.
vendetta,
They wasn't
whether it
there
was
to steal
connected to
nothing.
that or not. That was a vendetta. If they didn't take nothing, that's a vendetta. You're right. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
them, but
Yeah.
if they
If
didn't
there's
take
ever been a
nothing,
vendetta, that's would be the definition.
how old was he?
Uh, he was a few years older than my mom. He wasn't. She was 55. He wasn't very old at all. Um, I'm drawing a blank on his age right now. This has got me a little emotional. I'm scared to speak out
That's all
about it
right. It's
because I don't want to hurt
understandable.
family's feelings. And I got a lot of emotions going on because it hurts so bad. He was my
Yeah.
best friend, man.
Oh, I
He
watch your
backed my business. He
videos.
backed my life. He
I
was
watch your
everything to me, man.
videos. With your mom's grave, you do
But
them all
one
the
thing
time.
I'm lonely, man. Without her, these are not just a mom and a dad that you talk to on the holidays. We're talking about multiple conversations a day, every day for your whole life. My mother was 16 years old when she had me. She got, her and my dad, you know, they got together at a young age. So I grew up with my mother.
Yeah.
She's 36. I'm 18 years old. We're close. We grew up together. Deep, and her husband, man, we rode motorcycles together. Let me tell you about us riding motorcycles. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he could ride the heck out of a Harley Davidson. He would get on. He's got this black street glide with big 26-inch front wheel. I mean, it just looks like a demon. It is just the sickest bike you ever seen, but it is fast. And me and him, we'd get on our Harleys and we would run these things as fast as we could. But he was a heck of a biker. But the main thing about him is he loved my mom.
Yeah.
Can you show the public your shirt?
Yeah, sure. Can y'all see that?
That's his mom.
Justice for
Everyone, shout out to
Justice,
Ann. Justice for Ann. And
Rest in
justice
peace.
for her
Ann was
husband, Ross, as well, for
People,
sure.
give her
Definitely.
rest in
yes.
peace, people.
We're
I want
gonna
them to
go
re-
ahead and take a few questions in the chat. We're gonna see. Listen, guys, keep it respectful. This is a
Oh
very
yeah.
hard moment. I know there's somebody in the chat saying, you know, if you can show some kind of pictures of the car. I don't know if you're willing to do that, but if you want to just give them an idea of it, you can. Um,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
I don't have a
Well,
picture of the car
What
right here
paper
on.
was it in?
well,
Do
Was it
one
in
what?
thing I can
paper,
say,
Cody?
guys, is this. I did see the pictures myself. The car is destroyed. I've been in the business of body work for a very long time and collision shops. The engine was through the firewall, and
Yeah,
exactly what he stated was 100% correct. The vehicle was laying on its side. It was mangled to a point where nothing in that front two seats would have survived, period. So we'll
nothing.
just leave it at that. Another thing I can say is I did see pictures of the assault, and that was pretty gruesome as well. Very, very, very horrific scar. And me personally, looking from the outside in, I have no doubt that his death was caused by that accident.
Blunt trauma.
The blunt trauma to his head was definitely uh, uh, it was a
By the
hard blow
assault.
to the head. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, due to the assault of
and
that gentleman.
and it was up here, so it kind of had to probably be a taller person,
Yeah,
maybe. But
Yeah, that
again,
makes sense.
I don't know, guys. That's what I'm doing on here
No
I
doorbell cameras, no nothing. Nobody could get it.
no, was totally off guard. That's where I'm at today. Why the main reason I want to speak about him is to let everybody know, if you know something, say something.
yeah,
If you have any
yeah,
information, send me a message. If you've overheard a conversation, let me know. Let's do the right thing for this veteran. He was assaulted, and he deserves justice over that. He was seeking justice, trying to find out who hit him, but we don't have a really good clue exactly who done it. I believe where it came from, but I don't know who was there that night.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't know the phone calls that was being made between certain people. We're just in the dark with it, and this doesn't need to go unsolved. He needs to have his justice, just like my mother does. Um, but yeah, I want to find out who assaulted him, who hit him.
And
He
when
deserves
is the
that.
next court date for your mom? Sorry to cut you off. When is
Our
the next
next
court
court
date?
date is August the 17th.
Okay,
They're fighting for his he's got a $500,000 cash only bond. They're trying to fight for his constitutional rights, saying he deserves the bond lowered to get him out, And my family, my people, we believe that he should have to stay in there. We don't. My mom don't get to come back from the dead and visit us out on bond.
yeah,
Why should he get out and walk free?
Do
that's
you
for
know if they
sure.
offered him a plea deal or is he
Okay, so on
cooperating?
that, it's totally up to the prosecutor, but we have requested that there be no plea deal. We want a trial. Because if we take a deal and we say, okay, yeah, we'll settle for 20 years or this many years, then we're saying, Mom, your life is only worth 10 years. Your life's
Yeah.
only worth 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay. To leave this in God's hands to me would be to say, okay, let this go to a jury trial. Let the jury decide. If it's 5 years, if it's 64 years, that's okay. It's not for me to decide. I
yeah,
want the jury to decide. I want them to hear the case. I want the prosecutors to do their job, and they're doing a great job. And I want this to go to trial.
Yeah. Let's take
I
this
think that's
question.
fair.
James Bismarck. Did your mom or her boyfriend know the drunk driver? My condolences, RIP. Thank you so much, James. Thank you.
Yes, James, thank you for that. No, we didn't know these people. Um, this guy was 29 years old. You know, he hung out with a different crowd, different family. You know, our families, we never really, we might have met passing and going, you know, but I've
Yeah.
never met the guy. She never met the guy.
Does he live in the same town as
Um,
you?
yeah, yeah, yes,
That
pretty
makes it
close
worse.
by. But right now he's living in a jail cell right now. But
No,
we had to wait for you know, we had to wait for him to get arrested too. You know, after the
Yeah.
accident.
I heard
So
that.
we just don't
Uh,
want him out walking free again.
yeah,
Is it true it took them
It'd
5
be too
months
hard to
to?
see the guy.
Is it true it took them 5 months to lock him up?
Yes, sir.
Approximately? Okay. We got a
Yeah.
question here from Emily Turner. Can I ask what was her toxicology report was? I'm assuming
I
they're
don't know
asking
exactly, but
okay.
I don't know. I know his was a .217, and whatever my mom had, if she had something in her system, well, guess what? She got prescription medicine. She didn't have alcohol in her system. She wasn't drunk, and she was going the speed limit in her lane. He's the one that left the bar, Emily. He's the one that got in that vehicle, and he ran my mother over and killed her. So, what would your toxicology report say?
it doesn't matter. She was killed at the scene, so it was by him,
She was
obviously.
killed at the scene, dead,
That's what I'm
dead,
saying.
no life left in her, headed to the morgue, waiting on a
They
coroner.
put, like you said, they put the
Why?
sheet up right away. What? Go on to
Yeah,
the
and
next
he's
question,
over
brother.
here. I'm not drunk enough.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we also got to understand that we keep it transparent. You know, some people are going to do their due diligence and they're going to ask about, the other side as well. Because remember, there was other families involved too. So we got to
Yeah,
understand that not only did your family, get destroyed, but I'm sure that person that's sitting in jail, his innocent family is destroyed too. Because they didn't do nothing wrong.
yeah.
He did. That's his choice. So, I would understand.
Yeah,
We definitely keep it respectful and we keep it transparent here. That's one thing we do. Guys, thank you so much for everybody joining us. 215 people in the chat. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like. We're doing big things on this channel. I understand this is not mafia genre related, but I believe that this was a story that had to be brought to the channel. Cody asked us to do it. We said okay, and this story has been heard by millions. Hopefully, this brings it up to send it out to millions of more people, news networks. We hope everybody picks it up, and we just hope Cody gets the justice that he deserves. We're not
Yeah,
blaming anybody. We are sorry for his mother's loss and his father's loss, but put yourself in his shoes. That's all I ask. Put yourself in his shoes.
that's why I was when he come to me and
you
asked
know,
me to
my
come on a show and get his story out. I said absolutely because I watch him like do all his things by his mom's grave site. I kind of felt bad, and then when he came and asked me, I says, "Well, we talk like you said mostly about mob stuff, but I'll bring that story on. I'm dead against drunk drivers. I lost my dad, but it wasn't a drunk driver; it was a car accident. So I feel your pain. I do.
yeah, I know you do. You told me your story. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
Um,
Well, we hear about yours right now, and like I said, we'll get it out as far as we can. I mean, how's your family holding up?
well, um, they're doing the best they can. I'd say they're doing better than they have been. This was a tragedy for my whole family. You know, my sister. I mean, it ripped her to shreds. It broke her heart so bad. You know, when I told her, my mom's husband. He get back to what I was talking about a while ago. My mom's husband, my mom's mother was on hospice care, and she was coming home the night that she died. Well, her husband, he had to give me the news of this. Okay. Mike, he drove by my house, he said 3 or 4 times, and it was right when the sun came up, and he pulled up in the driveway, and I just knew he was going to tell me your grandmother passed away. He told me my mom got killed by a drunk driver.
Mm.
Everything went gray. My ears was ringing. My heart was pounding. I wanted to know what to do next. And that was, I wanted to go see my mom. And I had to go, I got to see her one last time before they did all their stuff at the funeral home. She was laid on that table. I never seen my mom with no life in her before. I never seen her with big bruise from here to there where her head was smashed in by a windshield. I tried to touch her, but her body was firm and wasn't real soft anymore. I went to kiss her on her forehead, and I got nervous, man, and I backed off from kissing her on the forehead. And I kept thinking, man, why didn't you kiss her? So I told the coroner, man, can you let me back in one last time? I need to give my mom a kiss. And I kissed her on her head, and I told her I love her. But Mike's the one that had to tell me this. And my sister, we went from my house to my sister's house. They're sound asleep, I had to wake them up out of bed. It was early in the morning. I said, Catherine. She, what? I said, Mom's dead. She's dead. She just got killed by a drunk driver. She's dead. She jumps up out of bed. She says, not my mom, not my mom, not my mom. Just screaming, not my mom. I said, yes, it's Mom. She's dead. She's dead. And we had to pull it together, man. We were just devastated. Had to call my little brother. He's the Marine Corps. He was in the Marine Corps too. Had to call my little, he's not in anymore. But I had to call my little brother and tell him, man, it crushed him. It broke his heart. We had to all meet up there and see my mom laying on the table. So to answer your question, man, this destroyed my family. She had 5 sisters that they were closer than any 5 sisters. She had 4 sisters. My mom's gone now. There's 5 girls, but it devastated them. My Aunt Renee, it killed her. In 2012, my Aunt Renee, she lost both daughters. They was killed by a drunk driver, Felicia and Andrew, 22 and 25 years old. Felicia was pregnant. She was headed to have her baby. She was dilated. She was scheduled for a C-section, and a drunk driver in a gravel truck ran them over, killed them dead. And all this brought those memories back up to my Aunt Renee. It devastated her. Her sister Brandy, it's killed her. She's going through a hard time. Her sister Sandy, she's trying to deal with this and be strong for everybody and hold us all up. She's having such a hard time. And she's got another sister, Sheila. She's lost as a goose. She's just having a hard time. But everybody, she's got grandkids. They're all dealing with this bad. And it's been months. When's it going to stop? Is it going to stop?
Unfortunately,
When's the grief and the pain going to stop?
And the sad part is every time court dates come up, it like opens the wound back up.
Okay, so I'm not the only one that feels like that. Every time a court date, I see Mike pulling up in the driveway to tell me my mother was killed. I see her
It's
on that
normal.
table. I start looking at these pictures, and I wound up in a cemetery trying to tell people about Jesus so nobody's left behind. And, I don't know what to do other than to speak the name of Jesus and try to win some souls, take some people to heaven with me, because that's where I'm ready to go to whenever I leave this world. I'm ready to see my mom and her husband. And I'm not ready today. Man, I got kids. I got an awesome son and daughter, and I got 2 other little boys, and I've got things. I got a girlfriend, a lover, and I'm my whole family, they depend on me. But I'm mainly preaching to myself and preaching to people that's lost, when I'm in that cemetery. Because I take it to this. It's all going to the grave one day, right? This is where we're going to end up one day, in a cemetery. But because of Brandon McCall's choice to drink and drive, now you got a guy like me, heartbroken, a grown man, that's in the cemetery preaching Jesus Christ, you know, and God's been really moving on my ministry and stuff. You know, I do that because I feel like that's what God wants me to do, and that's why I do that. But I would never be in that cemetery preaching in the first place if they wouldn't have killed my mother.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be there.
for sure. Thank
I
you so
love my
much,
mother.
Patrick. Thank you for the comment. I feel for everyone involved. There are a lot of people hurting from this. That's 100% for certain. There's a lot of people hurting from this. There are two families that are devastated. Um, you know, once again, we're transparent. We understand it. It was a bad decision, a bad choice, and unfortunately, it can't be turned around. But Cody does deserve justice, and that's really the bottom line. Hopefully, this ongoing investigation turns up something that gives his family closure, and they find out who did this to Mr. Ross, a Marine, somebody that served our country, somebody that protects our rights. And, you know, we really feel for you, and we're happy to put this story out for you and bring some awareness to your situation. I know you probably had a lot of bad feedback on this, but hey, there's nothing wrong with you speaking your opinion. Remember, your dad fought for that right for you to open your mouth and speak.
Amen.
That's
He
right.
fought for that. That's a constitutional right for you to speak your mind and have your opinion. No one can take that away. So we're
And I
happy
just
to have you here. If you want to
thank you.
shout out your social media and let people know where to continue to follow your story, that would be good. We're going to be staying on after this. We got maybe one or two things that we have to address on a mafia topic. But everyone, welcome Cody. Go follow him. Go follow his story. Share it. Show him support. And even the other family, you know, reach out. You know, speak to them. See how it feels. You know, I understand it's a horrible loss, but they're hurting too. For sure
I
they are.
understand that. And you
So
know, I
you
want
want
to
to
tell
shout
his
out your
family.
socials?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can shout out your social media so people can follow you and continue to, you know, put your
You know, you
story
have
out.
to follow me on Facebook, Cody Slusher on Facebook. Got a profile picture of my stepdad sitting on his Harley. You know, it says "Rest in peace." Um, you'll find me on there. It's Cody Slusher on Facebook. I got a big blue picture of my mother in the background. You can't miss me. And
Yeah.
you can follow my stories. You can hashtag Justice for Ann McQueen. It'll pull up all of our videos, you know, and just hit me on the Facebook and follow me. We're seeking justice for my mother. And as far as the assault that happened to her husband, anybody local, if you know anything, say something. That's all I'm asking. That's as far as I'm going to get into it. Just say something if you know something. But
Yes.
let's fight for justice for Ann McQueen, and let's set an example out of Brandon McCall so that maybe another family won't have to go through the same thing that my family's going through and his family are going through a hard time. It destroys both families. And but justice for Ann McQueen and hashtag justice for Ann McQueen on Facebook. You'll find me.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, brother. Everyone, go follow his story. Like I said, we're going to be staying on after this for a little while. We got some other things we have to address. But Cody, once again, thank you for coming on, brother. If you ever need anything, you know, I'm
Thank you.
here. You know, Jimmy's here. The platform is here. We're here for you, brother. We hope your family gets justice. And this is all said and done sooner than later.
Yes, Cody, and keep us
All right.
updated. If you get any new news, anybody you want to come back on and you want to do a shout out again, I'll have you on
Okay.
because this should be a
All right,
lesson to
Jim.
people.
Thank you.
Listen, don't drink and drive. That's bottom line.
Yes.
You ruin not only yourself, your life, your family, the other people's family. Let them think twice about it.
For
And
sure.
one last thing, if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, take a minute and accept Him to your heart. It could change your whole life like it did mine. It'll get you through a hard time.
Amen to
Have
that,
faith.
people.
Yeah.
Amen. Cody, thank you, brother. Reach out to me whenever you hear some good news or any type of news. We're here for you, brother.
Yeah, Cody, and stay strong. Your
All right,
family
guys.
needs
Thank
you.
you.
And folks, everybody give a shout out to Cody if you
All
can
right,
and the
brother.
messages show your love. All right, Cody.
Thank you so much, Cody. We really appreciate you for that
Sad.
heartfelt story. 188 people still with us in the chat. We're going to stay on for a little while longer. Got a few other things we need to address. Switch the whole scenario because, man, that was a heartfelt story. People remember,
It was choking me up. It
you
really
know,
was.
I don't know if you guys know, and we're not going to get too far into it because we don't need Jimmy emotional, but yes, his parents, the same thing happened to them, and he knows the situation firsthand. It's horrible, horrible to drink and drive. Me, myself, I don't drink at all. I actually don't tolerate no one who does drink because I feel like I shouldn't have to be responsible for your stupidity because you're drunk. I'm the type of person where if you can't hold your liquor, stay far from around me because I'm going to handle you the same way I would handle you if you were sober. So on that note, we're just going to go down the chat. Jim, you can go ahead and speak a few things. I'm going to scroll down the chat and see if there's any questions. If anybody has
Well,
any, post them up.
well, everything's the same since last time we spoke. I seen Proctor release something, crying about people jumping on him. If
Yeah.
you tell the truth, and you say you're a Christian man, so if you tell the truth will set you free. So don't stop that Christian stuff. I don't buy that with you. So I had
Shout
to
out
say
to
that
Anthony
because,
Sessa. Anthony
yeah,
Sessa, thank you, brother. Shout out to
Anthony,
you.
I'm gonna call you. I'm sorry I didn't. I've been so busy. I'm sorry about that, Anthony.
And yeah, guys, we did see the video, the new James Proctor video. Once again, I guess he was sick and tired of it from what he's saying. And the one thing I had to say about that was he was upset at the fact that Angel Gotti was getting talked to or treated the way she was. And the one thing I have to say about that is listen, she put herself in a man's world. The mafia is a man's world. Okay, she's not a spokesperson for her brother. She's not a spokesperson for the Gottis, so there's no reason to speak on them. If they did something wrong and it's a fact, just suck it up and deal with it. You're
Yeah.
going on these small channels, you're telling them your story, but you got invited. Why don't you address it live? On a bigger channel. Why don't you go on, Mafia Roundtable? We're not a big channel, but you know what? We'll love to have you on, and everybody will see it. You can prove your point. The facts are the facts. The paperwork is the paperwork. We got some super chats, so let's go over that real quick. Shout out to Steph. That was a tough topic, but important one, and you all handled it with grace. God bless you all. Thank you so much
Thank
for it.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for that. We
That's
appreciate
close.
the super chat. Shout out to Constantino. According to John Jr. Gotti, said Sammy wasn't there with the Castellanos hit. Do you believe Jr.? If he did, don't we have to believe John Gotti over Sammy?
Well, honestly, I could never say for sure. I always heard Sammy was there. I heard he put it together, the Russian hats and everything. That's what I heard. Now, could have Sammy might have put that rumor out there, or John might have put this rumor. I don't know. I can't give a definite answer. But I believe Sammy was probably there because when he said Angelo Ruggiero on this one, he was very close to him. He was the underboss.
Yeah.
If he wasn't there, somebody he probably with John. I believe that.
I seen it. He did say he was sitting in the seat next to him. They had walkie-talkies, and that's what he stated. Um, he knew everything up to the T. So, I mean, I have no
I
reason not to believe he wasn't there.
Yeah, like I said, and I'm not saying it because I believe the underboss knew it, and if John was at the scene, you bet your ass the underboss could be at that scene.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
Just taking some questions, looking here at the live.
Good evening, everybody. I see that.
Shout out to John Tsunami. Jimmy, what's up, my man? Hope you're having a good day. Shout out to Jimmy's nephew. I apologize. I don't know your name. It's okay, brother. Name is Brooklyn. We appreciate the love. Appreciate you joining the channel. Hopefully you subscribe and share.
Yes, thank you, Johnny.
He said I get hammered on the weekends. For sure. I'm sure there's many people who do. and there's
But
nothing
don't
wrong
drive.
with that.
You know,
But don't
I'm
drive
sure he knows better. 90% of the people realize, you know what? What am I doing? I could go to jail. I could kill somebody, kill myself. So, you know, he was just inconsiderate.
for sure. Definitely for sure. So, guys, we just wanted to touch up on a few things. Today's going to be a short live. We wanted to come on and have Cody on and tell his story. We're sorry we got into the little uh, answering battle after that, but we just want to say thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for listening, sharing his story. Um, we really appreciate you all. There's still 100 and something people in the chat. Please, if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe now. We got a question here from Bam Bam. Hey, Jimmy, Angel is looking stupid defending John Jr., and he probably wishes she never got into this.
Yeah,
That's a
I wonder
fact.
if that's the Bam Bam that used to live on a block in Ozone Park when I was a kid, by the Merritt gas station. He owns Bam's Towing. If that's him, he's a good kid. His mother, everybody, I knew the whole family. Yeah, you're right. Well, listen, what is she gonna do? Control brother under the bus?
Yeah,
You know. The bottom line is this: if he was supposed to be a mob boss, why are you telling your sister these things? We don't tell women these things, but I could poke 62 holes to Sunday on this whole situation. Listen, they're all corrupt. Proctor and they are. I don't sugarcoat shit. So the bottom line, it is what it is.
it is what it is. Jimmy's favorite word. Shout out to Suzanne. Oh, actually, she just came on and put up this question. She was actually in the comments yesterday. So thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. Jimmy, how did you end up in Arkansas?
Well, I left my house. I put the GPS onto a McDonald's, and I wound up here. No, when I decided to cooperate, shall admit it, and they felt my life was in danger because you know the corporation, and so they moved me and changed my name in the Federal Witness Protection Program. They moved my family too, so you know we for our safety. So that's how I wound up in Arkansas, and I love it. I love it. I come back to New York a lot, 3, 4 times a year, but I'll be there this year when they light the tree. Yeah, like I said, I love it. I'll never go back
I'll
just to
be out
visit.
there. I'll be out there actually next week. And guys, listen, I want to let you guys know, for everybody that was in the chat that said they were Jimmy was living out of his car. We actually had something planned prior that we're gonna be, I think, the first ones to do it. We're gonna do a Cribs Mafia edition of Jimmy's Home. It's gonna be probably 2 episodes, nothing super long, but maybe like 20, 30 minutes each. We're gonna go on his property, we're gonna film his home, we're gonna film his house inside out, just so the people can see. I know MTV Cribs was a big, big, big hit. So we're just going to give some of you guys some content to look at. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm sure many others are going to enjoy it as well. Let me know.
Yeah,
One's in the chat if you're going to enjoy that.
I'll give you a tour how, like Chris Colombo said, he's broke. So we're gonna give you a tour of my little broke house.
Yeah, make sure you clean up, Jim, and make
I
sure your
know, right?
refrigerator is full with all the good juices.
Yeah, yeah. No alcohol.
Shout out to Bam Bam once again. Proctor lost all his credibility when it comes to talking about the Gotti family.
Ed's the Bam. Are you the Bam from Bam's Towing? And you lived in Ozone Park it used to be a Merritt gas station years ago on 134th Avenue, I think it was.
Let us know
I'm
in the
wondering if
chat.
that's him. But otherwise, yeah, he lost all his credibility. He went out there today saying that he's being picked on and they picked on a woman. Well, if you don't pick on people, they won't pick on you back. And when you want to make up phony stories, and another thing, how come he ain't proven it with John Gotti Jr.'s paperwork? That's everybody's texting me saying that. Why don't you bring that up? You showed your paperwork. Why don't Proctor pull his now? Because you don't get mad at your boss. The people that are greasing your pocket, you don't put them in the
Yeah.
spotlight. But he put me in the spotlight, and I proved myself. Now, Proctor, come out of your closet and ask them for their paperwork. That you defend them, prove it. Now
And
what?
one thing I had to say about that, I went in his comment section and he said on the interview that there was only a 5% amount of people that were giving him bad feedback. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Mr. Proctor, but I was on your page and I can tell you like this, out of 100 comments, maybe, and I'm being generous, maybe you had 5 people that said something good and they had no face. 95% of your people were negative towards you. I wouldn't
And
consider
he
that
said it
5%.
too. He said, I got a lot of hate. So, I mean, he admitted himself. When you put out bullshit, you're going to get bullshit. It's that simple.
Yeah. And that's the hypocrisy we talk about. If you're going to be straight across the board. Be straight, man. Don't hide behind the words. Don't leave a situation open ended. Be straight across the board. Say, hey, listen, you know what? Because listen, I'm gonna tell you this, people. We had a great relationship. I spoke to Proctor several times, very respectful. And out of his own mouth, he stated he loved Jimmy. He loves what he's doing with his life. That's why Jimmy felt comfortable with him. Because the fact of the matter is, this is the things that he was telling us, you know. But you called me maybe 3 4 times asking questions. Why are you not doing the same with Angel?
Why don't you get his
Why don't you
paperwork?
have her on your show?
How
Why
much is
haven't
it
we
going to
spoke to
cost
you
me? Just
since?
say it, Proctor. How much do I got to pay you? Just put your money up because that's all you're about. You're a sellout. How much is it going to cost you to get his paperwork? Oh, you
You
won't
know, he,
call his paperwork. Only one sided. You know how they got the justice scale? You ought to learn that before you
yeah.
preach law.
And people, we spoke to Proctor on a daily basis. If he would text me, we would respond. If I would text him, he would respond. But I can tell you this, ever since I asked him twice to come on the show and at least ask Jimmy what you need to ask him, because remember, he left it open ended. He said he had a bunch of questions to ask Jimmy. We told him to come on live and ask him any question you want twice. And you
Send
know
him a
what he
link
did?
right now.
He
Send him a link
ignored
right
it.
now. Let's see where he's
He
nervous. Send him a link.
he won't come on. That's for sure. And that goes for Angel too. You go on these little shows and you speak your mind about Jimmy or Dom or Gene, but those shows that you're going on, they're not mafia related. You're
Oh,
speaking to a guy in his living room that's he's basically just assuming the mafia culture. You have the mafia culture sitting right here. I'm sure Mafia Roundtable sent you an invite. We definitely sent you an invite. We posted it in the chat. We sent your brother the invite. It's just words. That's all it is. It's just words. Shout out to Next Level, sending you guys much love and respect from German. German, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the
thank you,
super
brother.
chat.
Still like the glasses.
Always supporting the channel. Shout out to Ryan Lowe. Take it easy, Jimmy in Brooklyn. Great show again. Tough stuff today. Yeah,
We go, you
emotional,
know, Ryan, I go right from the heart. Ain't no
emotional.
filter.
Just going through the messages here. Shout out to Georgina Cray. Angel is a whiner and Proctor is a worm.
Yeah, we call him the
Whiners
wiggle
and the
worm.
worm.
When
Yeah,
he's
that's
lying, you'll see he'll start twitching and twisting. Body language speaks.
for sure. And listen,
Good
answer this,
question.
people in the chat. Answer this one thing. If you speak to somebody on a daily basis, ever since we dropped this YouTube, maybe a week after or around that nature, we spoke to him constantly. All of a sudden, it stopped immediately.
He was getting information, like everybody told
Immediately.
me. He's a Russian spy, trying to get in our camp. I says, you know what? He's been nice to me, respectful, and I showed him whatever he asked me. And he did confirm, yes. And then all of a sudden they got a hold of him and everything went, depends on a dollar sign with
And you
him.
know what? I see that now. And you know what?
Oh,
Just to address this Vlad situation, I wanted
yeah.
to bring that up. So she sued Gene, which was ridiculous. But let's talk about this Vlad situation. People, Vlad TV, nothing to do with the genre, amazing journalist, over 9 million viewers, billions of views across all his platforms. What is it that he's gaining about lying in a situation that had to do with Angel Gotti? Do you guys believe that, she told him, hey, I'll get you an interview with my brother? My brother. I'm going to get you an interview with my brother. My brother didn't do that. Or what she said to Jimmy, my brother went through 4 trials. Did you go to 4 trials?
And here's another thing I got to bring up. I never heard the prosecutor, see, in 2010, they announced we are dropping everything against Junior and this and that. Why? No, so the Gottis became saints? Because when you got 302s dated back from 98, 99, whatever it is, don't hold me exact, up to 2006, of course they dropped everything else from there on in. When you're a confidential informant, because that's what it sounds like to me, if I had to bet my money, I bet my house.
That's a fact. Shout out to James Bismarck. Hello, Jimmy in Brooklyn. You guys should have Jack Amato on as a guest. You guys would have a lot to talk about after watching his channel. Thanks, guys. We appreciate that. Tag him. Reach out. We'd love
Yeah.
to speak to anyone. For sure. So, guys, we've been on with you guys for about an hour. We're going to go ahead and give some shout outs in the chat. Then we're going to leave you guys to go and attend to your Monday business. We hope you enjoyed this live. Shout out to Spat. Shout out to Piper. Shout out to Nico, Ken, Johnny Tsunami. Shout out to James Bismarck. Shout out to Patrick. Always showing love. Jenny Rivera. Shout out to you. If you know, you know. Shout out to you. Chacho. What's up, brother? Thank you for joining. Shapu. We appreciate it. Francisco, thank you for modding the channel. Thank you for keeping it respectful. Bam Bam, thank you for the good questions,
Yeah,
brother.
man.
Lost in the Fog, thank you so much. Ryan Lowe, we appreciate you, brother. John McCarriton, always with us. Lester, what's up, brother? Amanda Davis, thank you. Georgina Cray, thank you so much. Everyone, go watch Legends. That's the daughter to Charlie Cray. Shout out to her. We appreciate you, and shout out to London. Hold it down. Shout out to Carl. Who else we got here? Chief Lewis, thank you. Step, thank you. You're always in the chat. We know you're here somewhere. If we missed anybody, listen, we want to say thank you guys for real. This was an amazing, amazing, amazing live. We went off topic, but we're bringing you different things, and we want to spread awareness to certain stuff. Go ahead, Jim. Take us out, brother.
And keep Cody in his prayers, him and his family. They are, hurting bad. And if you could say a prayer for him, I know people tomorrow will be bashing me for that. And like I said, follow his channel. The more support he gets, it can only help him. Show him that he's got people that care, because I do. And I'll be following him, and we'll keep giving updates on our show.
For sure. Shout out to Elgato. Buenas noches. Thank you so much. Yes. You know what? Listen, John, 100% correct. I still can't believe it. Knicks 2026 champions. Let's go.
Knicks I like.
Let's go. Hopefully, New York Giants 2026 champions as well. Flood the chat, people. Jimmy's a Jets fan, so we already know we don't even have to argue with him.
We got
right,
Geno Smith back in the driver's seat, okay? They tuned him up. We're going to drive him now. We're going somewhere this year. But I've said that for the last since 69, so.
Actually, I wanted to address this comment. Sup, what's up? I forgot to shout you out. Yes. We definitely spoke with Soft White Underbelly. I think they're not doing anything till September, and they're going to give us a call back. But yeah, tag them. They definitely reached out. They wanted to do something, but I think they're holding off videos until September. But coming up, we got Johnny Mitchell next week. We don't know when he's going to be releasing it. Gary Jenkins' interview is going to be released. American Made has been releasing content here and there. So believe me, it's going to be a busy schedule. And I'll be in bumfuck Arkansas in a week, and we'll be doing Mafia Cribs edition. So everyone text Jimmy and tell him to clean his house.
Hey, folks, one question I got. Do you think when Brooklyn gets here, he should wear a pair of overalls?
Never.
Why? You
Never.
got to fit in.
Never.
When I get up the front, my overalls on, my straw hat,
No.
pinch between my
Never.
cheek and gum.
Never. Guys, thank you
Wow.
so much. We appreciate you. Hour and 5 minutes. Thank everyone for hanging with us. Thank everyone for hearing Cody's story. Thank you
Yeah.
for all the jokes after that. We hate to switch stories, but we had to bring some kind of smile to a tragic situation. So everybody,
Yes.
good night. Thank you. We will be replaying this video on the channel. Everyone go like, subscribe, send it to all your friends. We out. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Monday,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.